Supergirl Season 5 ended last week, so now it is time to talk about it. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. I'm a huge Arrowverse fan and I do videos talking about Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, and the rest of them on this channel sometimes. And of course, the 2019-2020 seasons recently ended for Supergirl, The Flash, and Batwoman. I decided to take some time to give you guys my thoughts on Supergirl Season 5.
Time has come for you to fulfill your destiny, Lex Luthor. You could now become the hero that you have longed to be.
I've always been the hero.
Alright, so first and foremost, I don't think that you can even talk about Supergirl as of late without discussing Lex Luthor. Jon Cryer has proven to be an incredible version of this iconic DC supervillain. Season 4, for many reasons, delivered, but one of the main things that I loved about it was Lex. I thought that Cryer just was so amazing on screen, and the episodes that focused on him really delivered. So that leads me into Season 5, and I think that Lex Luthor was kind of just the best part of Season 5. Not only being so smart and cunning, but also very charming. He's just so intelligent and an interesting villain, someone who really believes that Superman and aliens are not good, and the way he plays everybody just to get ahead, it all works so well. I think that he's just a very dynamic villain, but one that even when he tries to be good or pretends to be good, we all know that he's inherently just an absolute supervillain, and he was really one of the best parts in Crisis too, in my opinion. So that's just why Season 5 was at the very least great, because we got more of Cryer's Luthor, and I think we're getting more of him in Season 6 as well, so bring it on.
Welcome to Leviathan.
So obviously, aside from Lex Luthor, though also was kind of hand in hand with him, was Leviathan as Supergirl's main threat this season. And earlier on, I thought they did a lot with Andrea Rojas, and I thought that Leviathan was just proving to be so intense and coming in hot. But after we left Crisis on Infinite Earths and things were starting to pick up again, and Lex sort of found out about Leviathan and went on this mission to find out all about them, to take them over, and he was working with them and all, and it proved to be some really interesting storytelling, and I think that it worked super well, not only because Lex was a main player in this Leviathan story, but Leviathan as a whole. I think they worked for me. And you know, the use of the VR technology from Obsidian really worked as well. I thought that was kind of cool, because not only is virtual reality very fascinating, you know, and I think that the ideas that they tackled with escapism and trying to just find a better reality could almost parallel something that we would probably like in our own lives right now. I digress. I think that Obsidian was cool because the fact that Leviathan really ran it, and their whole grand scheme, which they built up to, I liked it a lot. And I was happy that it was more than just some cool VR technology for people to sort of just enjoy escapism. I like that it was actually a villainous thing. So I'm about it. I mean, it worked for me. Obviously, Ramakrishnan was sort of supposed to be like the main threat, but in a way, I do feel like it's hard to say that he was the main villain of Season 5. But Ramakrishnan obviously was super powerful, and I thought that he was kind of awesome. I was actually thinking, watching the season finale, which I believe was called Immortal Kombat, I was thinking that Ramakrishnan would be a sick Mortal Kombat character, maybe for Injustice 3. But Ramakrishnan, pretty cool. I like his powers, and I like the whole idea of them being gods, and they're very awesome to watch in action. Obviously, we didn't get as much of it as I would have liked, and you know, I don't really have like a lot to say because I almost feel like they didn't write him enough. They didn't give him enough, but his presence on screen worked for me, but I just feel like he didn't stand out as much as I wanted him to as a dynamic character. Gemma Cooper is kind of the other main player in Leviathan, and I actually liked her a lot too, because she really showed how to be a leader of a villainous organization. So I thought that Gemma just, you know, pretending to be someone she's not almost, and covering everything up, which is a whole trend of what Leviathan was doing with Obsidian, and I was into it. I mean, I thought that Gemma really showed that she was a businesswoman, and she was very effective in what she did. She was no doubt a villain, and honestly, I think that she was better than Ramakrishnan. You know, I'm kind of excited to see where they go with her in Season 6, because clearly, based on that little cliffhanger at the ending of the finale, we know that she's going into her true form. I actually wanted to point out Margot because this old lady was actually kind of an interesting character. She kind of scared me. She sort of just snuck around and everything. And I remember seeing her just at the ending of season 4 and telling Eve Tessmacher about how Leviathan is everyone and everywhere. And I remember how much, I was so excited going into the season for that, and I kind of like Margot. Speaking of Eve Tessmacher, of course, she was a main player in season 4 and season 5, though I feel like she wasn't in this one as much. But I kind of liked that they brought her back. I mean, I liked her arguably more in the 4th season. I like her redemption. It works for me. So overall, I mean, she's a pretty fine character. I don't necessarily love her, but I think that they do enough justice for her. In all honesty, though, I don't necessarily want more of her in season 6. I think that she's had her time. But moving right along, I feel like I'm just going character by character, but I think that is only natural as it's a show that is focused on characters, as most of the Arrowverse really puts an emphasis on. And I think that William is one of the best new introductions to Supergirl.
Your articles are honest and smart. I can never write the way you write.
You have 2 Pulitzers.
It's not from the writing. It's from the story. I have craft. You have art.
So Kara has always had sort of a love interest. I mean, there's been James and Wynn, and there was Mon-El, and right now we have William. And I think that they did some pretty good stuff with them because Kara kind of is afraid to get into a relationship. She doesn't want to commit to that, knowing the struggles of her identity crisis and just how dangerous her life is, and she's a little afraid, but William just wants to be with her. He really likes her, and I think that is kind of sweet. They do a pretty good job with writing them, and their chemistry works actually really well. I like William a lot, and I'm super glad that he is sort of a recurring character on the show. I liked him prior to Crisis, but I think he really shined as well as the season went on, so I'm totally down to see more of him and hope that they sort of establish more of the relationship between him and Kara.
I've always been Supergirl. I should have told you so long ago. I know that. I just kept making excuses because you've been hurt so many times, and I convinced myself that I was protecting you.
Kara never really got to telling Lena that she was Supergirl. It was too late. That was one of the best moments in season 4 for sure, in the end when Lex revealed the whole thing, that they were all lying to her. And it brought us into season 5 expecting Lena to be a villain, and in a way she actually was. And it actually was arguably a little bit dramatic, but I think it worked pretty well. I mean, I like the character enough, and I think that she's really shining when it comes to her relationship with Kara, so I was about it. In the end, I think it kind of delivered because their relationship was sort of solved, so I was kind of happy with that. We had Wynn returning, which I quite liked. I thought those were some pretty strong episodes. I do actually like them even more in retrospect due to how they led into the whole Brainy Lex storyline. So, once again, I'm going to reference season 4 and how much I loved it, but Brainy was a real star in there. And I think that his relationship with Nia sort of was more interesting in season 4. So this time around, she's mad because he just became a real brainiac. I mean, he sort of just let go of all emotion and just went to logic and just working. I don't even know if he's dead right now, but it didn't work necessarily for me at first. I wasn't necessarily sold on him working for Lex and him being so cold and everything, but it makes sense. And I also like his, if you want to call it a redemption, his revelation that he still is a good guy. He's not a villain, and he sort of sacrificed himself, it looks like. Like I said, he could be dead. I mean, I hope not. I'm sure he's not dead. But, that worked more for me as it went on. I started to like it more, but at first I was definitely a little skeptical. There was Crisis on Infinite Earth. I think that it was fine. I mean, I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I also see the problems with it. But I thought that the Supergirl aspects of Crisis were actually some of the most important. There was a lot of emphasis on Supergirl, Superman, multiple Supermen in there. Lex going to be one of the main 7 after he kills Brandon Routh's Superman, even though I would have liked to see more of that one. I almost feel like Supergirl was given a lot of emphasis in Crisis, more than I expected, so I was happy with that.
And I thought Destiny could use a little rewrite. So, what do we do now?
But ultimately, Supergirl Season 5 was pretty good. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think? Do you like Supergirl Season 5? Did you enjoy Leviathan and Obsidian? Do you like the new characters? Do you not like them? What was your favorite part? Are you disappointed that we have to wait a long time for Season 6? Share with me everything you want to talk about Supergirl in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will talk to you guys all in the next video.